Can someone please explain to me why is Homeland Security raiding P. Diddy's home? Is it because he's been in the news a lot? Going through lawsuits? Watch this.
Very significant development here, seeing this law enforcement action taking place. I'll point out, just to be clear at the outset, we don't know that Sean Diddy Combs himself is the subject or target of a federal investigation. So it's just worth pointing that out at this hour. But what we do know is that two properties associated with him, we saw the feds descend on those properties. We saw on aerial footage, federal agents both here in the Los Angeles area as well as in Miami at those residences. Now, the Department of Homeland Security, their what's called HSI, Homeland Security Investigations, gave CNN a statement. I'll read you part of that when asked about what this activity is. They say that earlier today, HSI New York executed law enforcement actions as part of an ongoing investigation with assistance from HSI Los Angeles, HSI Miami, and our local law enforcement partners. That is it, confirming that they are conducting what they're deeming law enforcement action, which could indicate search warrants being conducted there, could indicate arrests being conducted. We just don't know at this hour specifically what that law enforcement action is.
Hi, and welcome to my channel. Thank you for coming to see little old me. Before we get started, do me a favor. Click like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification button. I would really appreciate it. So let's get right into it. As you can see, Homeland Security has raided P. Diddy's home. It's been a lot going on with P. Diddy, a lot of rumors, a lot of lawsuits, and maybe this is it. People are tired of hearing P. Diddy's name and all the accusations that's been going around concerning P. Diddy. I have an article here. It says that Homeland Security raids Homeby Hills home associated with Diddy Film Company. It says that Homeby Hills, Los Angeles Homeland Security agents on Monday raided a Homeby Hills mansion associated with rap mogul Sean Diddy Combs and his production company. It says that it is believed the raid, as well as a similar operation at Combs' home in Miami, was associated with a federal sex trafficking investigation based out of New York. Wow. It says that Combs has recently been associated with legal troubles that include lawsuits over alleged sexual assaults and sex trafficking. Wow. It says HSI agents were conducting their operations in the 200 block of South Mapleton Drive in Homeby Hills, a wealthy Los Angeles enclave known as a home for celebrities and the Playboy Mansion. The address is associated with Combs' Bad Boy Films production company. It says that agents were detaining two men who were later identified as Diddy's sons, sources told ABC News. The two sons were not under arrest, but were being detained outside as agents searched the property. It says that dozens of agents were seen searching through the property, bringing out boxes and even looking through cushions and outdoor pool furniture. Neighbors tell Eyewitness News they frequently see parties at the property lasting all night, but they weren't aware of any illegal activities. Wow. Wow. So much has been going on with Mr. Combs. It's just ridiculous. It's been a lot of rumors. I talked about the rumors before with TD Jakes. There was rumors along the lines of that. Also, the lawsuit with his ex Cassie. He settled with that one. There was another lawsuit with another young lady that was stating he had did some things to her when she was 17 years old, and then it was another allegation against him with Mr. Jones. So it's been things like ongoing concerning him, and it's pretty sad because this has been talked about for years. And finally, something is being done about it. So I don't know. Leave your comments. Let me know what you think. Let me know. Do you think that P. Diddy has been doing some sex trafficking and sexual assaults against others and children? Because that's what they are. They're children. No matter if they're teenagers or close to young adults, they're still children. Anywho, let's move on to bigger things. So, why in the world was the Black Panther Party at the Virginia School Board meeting? It's a lot going on. I mean, really. Watch this.
Panther Party shows up because, well, there's a picture floating around of what looks to be a student saying, I kill N words written on the arm. All right, so here's some of it.
This threat must be taken seriously. This threat was to kill. It isn't just a threat to Black children, although it was a directed threat to Black children, it is a threat to all children. Because when that child comes to that school to carry out those threats or has her family members, friends, or the KKK that one of the students has warned you about already this evening, come out and carry out those threats, all children are in danger because, as you know, bullets have no name. These reports are not just from Black people, but white people as well. When will you realize you have a gigantic racial problem in your school and community? Do you not hear the cries of the people here? Don't let it fall on deaf ears. Those that don't see it don't want to see it, or can't because they aren't the targets of this racial activity. A 3-day suspension is not enough. This young lady should be expelled for the safety of all the children in this school. You all need to do what's right, and if you can't do what's right by these children, then it may be time for us to take action, a community, and get some different people in those seats. We demand justice, and that starts with her expulsion. All power to the people. All power to the people. All power to the people.
Thank you. All power to the people. Put up the picture they're referring to. I kill N words is what it says. The Black Panther Party had to properly contextualize how this is not simply an issue that targets Black students, even though they should not have to make this distinction. This is adverse to all students and the entire system of education there.
This is pretty sad, especially in this time and day in the year 2024. The Black Panther Party had to come out to advocate for the children there because there's been so much going on. I have an article concerning that as well. It says that the fiery school board meeting brings out Black Panthers in Virginia. Wow. It says that tension between a Virginia school board and members of the public was a match stroke away from flames this week as parents lambasted the district administration for not doing enough to combat violent hate speech, which many consider to be an over death threat. Hundreds of people turned out for the heated 3-hour meeting with the Powhatan County Public School Board just outside of Richmond on Monday. Roughly 50 people took to the dais to share their concerns about the inaction of district with regards to bullying, with the majority of the complaints focusing on blatant racism. Wow. Still, the young lady had written on her arm that she would kill the N word. How do they learn such a thing? Where do they get that from? Is it from the parents? I know they're just not coming up with that on their own. And from my research on this has been happening like over consistently. Even one young guy was defending himself and he ended up getting suspended. Not the person that did something hateful to him. He was just defending himself, but he ended up getting suspended. It was a black child. They ended up getting suspended and they were just defending themselves. And then when he took it to the authorities there, nothing happened. They looked over it or never talked about it or didn't even do anything about it. And this is something that's going on consistently, like all the time. But we don't deserve reparations. Speaking of reparations, I have actual justice warrior. That's what they call him, actual justice warrior. He's a YouTube influencer, and I wanted you guys to hear his opinion on reparations. Watch this.
To tally up how much you owe Black Americans due to the long history of slavery that none of these Black Americans actually suffered from. And we've seen absolutely outrageous estimates. If you remember, in San Francisco, they put up a proposal that would cost each resident, in order to pay the reparations, about $600,000 per person. It was like $5 million in one-time payments, a guaranteed income of $90,000+ a year. There were ridiculous proposals about $1 in order to buy a house. Why don't you just ask for a free house in San Francisco if you're demanding a $1 mortgage? And we've seen this repeat over and over again. The numbers keep getting more ridiculous, but for some reason we're supposed to pretend that it is a good use of our tax dollars to hire a bunch of anti-white Black activists, put them on a reparations commission, and ask them to calculate how much money the taxpayer should fork over to them, and act like this is the...
So, actual justice, aka Sean Fitzgerald. Let me explain something to you while you say, hey, we don't deserve reparations because we was not enslaved. But our ancestors were brutally in slavery here. And guess what? You all benefited from it. Let me read some of the comments that his followers or subscribers said. One of them said, you never picked, and this is Reflecto 93. You never picked any cotton, and I never owned any slaves. History lesson over. Well, let me give you a little history. No, you never picked cotton. No, we never picked cotton. Our ancestors picked the cotton, but you benefited from our ancestors picking the cotton. No, you never owned slaves, but your ancestors owned our ancestors, which you benefited off of it. Let me read another one. It says black privilege is alive in America. Wow. And this was from Psycho Dad 4982. And that's what you sound like, a psycho. To say black privilege alive in America? That is so funny. It's funny that you said that when all you have to do is show up and you're going to get some help. Whatever you need is laid out for you because of the YT privilege. Here's another one from Daniel. Daniel C. 3472. They can go to Africa and sue the people who sold them into slavery. Wow. 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 So you really think that we all were sold by our own people? No. And the kind of slavery that was here in this country was just downright inhumane. Let me say this to Sean. Imagine this. Imagine you're asleep in your bed when you are, let's say 6, and a bunch of us come in your house with guns and take you right out of your mom's arms and take you on to the cotton field and have you picking cotton, cleaning our homes, and then have your mother breastfeeding our babies, and then have a yoke around your father's neck and beating him until he's almost dead, or cutting off his you know what. Imagine that. And then we getting paid for it, getting taken care of real good. Got y'all living in a little small shack, and then bring along others, and you all live in that shack 10, sleeping on floors, eating pig. Imagine that. For years, hundreds of years, you, your mama, your grandmama, your grandpappy, your cousins, your aunts, your uncles, all being separated from each other, going all over this country, picking cotton, not getting paid for it. Imagine that. You couldn't imagine it because it never happened to you. It never happened to your ancestors. You lived real good off of the land, off of the black Americans' backs. That's my nugget for today. And so until the next time, I will see you real soon. Conversations with SDW.